Welcome to another episode of Barman Saturdays, and this week I decided to take a look at Puss in Boots. Yep, this is the one where Puss in Boots is voiced by Antonio Banderas and not William Shatner. And yes, that actually does exist. It's called The True Story of Puss in Boots. And it's a French CGI animation that was brought over to the States. At least I'm pretty sure it was a French studio that did it. It's been a while since I've looked at the details for that movie. I've actually done a video on it before, which has gotten some downvotes, I believe, because people are not exactly particularly happy with me not being particularly thrilled with that movie. Is the case with a lot of films, I don't get particularly positive reactions to. Like, I've gotten quite a few downvotes for my, for giving my opinion on Encino Man. I'm sure I'm going to get downvotes for my opinions on Benji, too, because, like, you found our film boring, but that's my lovely childhood film. How dare you say it's boring as you spent 40 minutes watching a dog go around begging for food? Like, that's the best part of the film. Like okay. But, yeah. I'm going to assume the true story of Puss in Boots was mostly brought to the States to cash in on this one, and having William Shatner do the voice was another way of trying to draw in people's interest. Like, I'll sometimes pick up films because they're like, oh, it's got the voice of Jackie Chan in it. The real Jackie Chan, not his voice double, because he actually has an official voice double who did his voice for Jackie Chan Adventures. Yeah, that's not actually Jackie Chan, in that TV series. It's his official voice double. Though Jackie Chan does appear for a few live-action shorts in that series. Go figure. I guess he had time for that, but not time to do all the voice acting work. I mean, this is Jackie Chan, a guy who has stunt doubles for doing walking and driving scenes, where there's no stunts involved. Because he's like, I can't be bothered unless there's actual dangerous stuff going on in the set, or you really need to see my face up close. So if they're going to be shooting the back of my head as I walk away, bring in my stunt double. I don't got the time, okay? I'm a busy man. So yeah, weird tangents, I suppose, but I suppose we should finally get into talking about, Puss in Boots, the movie by DreamWorks here. And I'd say it's a pretty solid experience. The movie moves at a decent pace and doesn't, fail to tell jokes as it goes along, in the style of, most of the Shrek movies. So there's some adult jokes there, and there's some rather dated references at this point that were probably somewhat dated even at the time this came out. With the first rule of Bean Club being you don't talk about Bean Club, being a clear reference to Fight Club, which I have floating around over here in a pile somewhere, if I remember correctly, if not in a binder already at this point. I've got a lot of movies, so it's not surprising it's floating around. So, yeah, they tell a decent amount of jokes, but there's some issues with the plot that kind of catch my interest, like Humpty Dumpty, being the villains is set up as a decent enough twist, and it works the way they did it. But then he quickly makes a reversal on that twist by deciding to help the town because Puss in Boots tells him he's better than that. Like, he was told that, a lot while growing up, that he's better than that. So I honestly don't see why he switches, his position so suddenly at the end to save the town after, setting it up to be destroyed by a giant goose. It feels like a gaping plot hole, because even when you see it happen, you're like, why is he reversing his position? If anything, I fear, Puss in Boots was going to show up and just push him over. I mean, I guess it does allow for the setup of him being a good egg at the end when we find out, he's filled with gold. But at the same time, it's a twist into a twist into a twist, and they don't really pull off, some of those transitions very well. Which is like my only real gripe about the film. For the most part, it works very well, but some of those twists, not so much. So yeah, it's a decent watch. It's not something I'd say you should miss out on if you like the Shrek franchise. If you despise the Shrek franchise, though, this definitely isn't going to be a movie for you. You're going to hate it, because it's basically the same style of jokes as always. Until next time, then. See ya.
He saved the Commandante's mother.
He saved the Commandante's mother.